You are listening to Right Off the Bus.
Bro, you better not throw a one in there, man. Is that what you just did?
Nah, it's a joke. My arm was also up here. I just can't get it.
So there's two of my coworkers. Whenever we close together, one of them's like after the bosses leave, one of them is always just like, "You guys know what time it is? It's a duh, boys, dude." And then he just starts doing all this dumb shit like that.
What does that even mean?
Dude, he just like, because it'll just be like us three left and we're all good buddies, dude. And he'll just be like, "It's time. It's just the boys, man. It's Ferda." You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
it's Ferda.
And then you'll hear him across the store. He's just like in the back. You just hear shit. You know?
I hate that TikTok started that.
Dude, the videos are so funny though, with like
they are
the
funny
singing and stuff.
But now it's like mainstream, like everyone does it. You see like athletes doing it. That's really Juju's thing. Thank God the NFL season's over.
I sent it to Connor Howe, dude, because the Knicks posted a video on TikTok of like RJ Barrett hitting threes and being like this, and like Julius Randle being like this, and Quigley, and it's like that song that's like the melodies of shit, you know, and it's
yeah.
all
Oh, you sent me, yeah.
And, dude, the Knicks.
But that always used to mean like just mean like ice in your veins, like it was like heat check, like. But now it's like if you see an athlete doing that or a shooter, it's like now it's just shit.
Pat, we should probably just start the podcast right now and put that in as the first thing.
I've been thinking that the entire time. I'm probably gonna put it in. But anyways, yeah,
we starting up
with that long intro. We're back. We're back
with the shit intro.
With that bad intro, we're back.
No one wants to hear that, man. No one's listening. No, we've lost all the listeners.
Nah, I'm putting that in.
All right, Pat. We ready to get going?
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's go. Right off the bus, episode number 21. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's Wednesday, May 19th. It's episode 21. I'm Chandler Hutchison. That's my co-host, Pat Mahoney, and we're ready to get at it, Pat, man. We're excited. We got a lot of NBA to talk today, Pat. We're going to start with some headlines like we always do, get a little bit of everything, but it's an NBA kind of week, man. It really is.
Yeah, there's no NFL. There's always NFL, but it's really basketball time. You know, it's playoff time. We got play-in time, so we're ready to get after it.
You know, the fact that Urban Meyer is dominating the football headline landscape for like a month straight means that we need more NFL to talk about, you know?
That Tim Tebow is still like the major headline. Urban Meyer playing a running back at wide receiver, but we'll get into that anyways.
It is tough, Pat, but man, I gotta say I'm excited. This episode's dropping on Wednesday. On Thursday morning at like 4:45 in the morning, my girlfriend and I are headed to the airport, flying to Fresno, California. Might have to meet up with our boy Marcus. Maybe Derek Carr is gonna be there, hang out a bit at the airport. But then we're heading to Yosemite, man. My girlfriend got me this trip for Christmas last year. I've talked about it a little bit, man, but I'm just going to hike in one of the most beautiful places on earth for 8-9 days, dude. I couldn't be more excited. It's peak waterfall season. So, dude, it's going to be unbelievable. I cannot wait. We're just going to be doing some awesome stuff.
Yeah, and I think we said last week, like, I want to go to a national park, and that haven't really been. But are you seeing El Cap while you're there?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be in the valley, so we're definitely going to check it out.
It's
man.
huge, so I mean, I imagine you can see it from just about anywhere.
3,000-foot granite slab, just
you might not miss it. You might not miss it.
Dude, I was reading like lists of like best things to bring to Yosemite, and people are like, dude, definitely bring binoculars because you want to be able to see the climbers. And they're like, you can just see climbers all over the valley, but I don't know. I'm not gonna. Maybe I'll rent a pair when we're there if you can. But
you can get a cheap pair. Like, I mean, there's high powered ones, but then there's you could ask my mom. She's got some high powered binoculars. She got some crazy ones.
I wish I knew, man. Had the hookup.
No, I know. Yeah, we could have sent them over.
I was looking at Amazon for like $40 binoculars, but I was like, I don't need it. It's all good. But yeah, dude, there's a 16-mile trail up the back of El Cap. It's the easiest El Cap climb. My girlfriend thinks it's probably the only one she can physically do because some of the other ones are like legit rock climbing at points. And it's just, that's not safe. It's not a good idea.
No.
So it's like an all day, full day one. But hey, we might be climbing El Cap, man. It's going to be cool.
Someday, or at least just a little
Well,
part of it.
walk up the back, you know. We'll end up at
Oh,
the top.
okay. Yeah.
You can like hike up
I
and down
forgot
the
there's like
back.
a
Yeah.
trail, right? It's not just like you go up the face or that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
You
But hey,
run
man,
into
I'm excited. First vacation with the girlfriend, man. We'll see how that goes. Good little test run, you know? We'll see what happens.
good little test. Yeah, that's always nice. Hopefully not too much of a test. Vacations are supposed to be fun and relaxing. So
I'm just
hopefully not
playing.
putting your relationship to the test. That's funny though.
I'm just playing. I'm just being an ass.
But yeah, that means Chandler, while you're gone next week, we'll have to figure something out. We'll have some sort of episode dropping, whether it's me all by my lonesome or me and a special guest. We'll figure that out for you guys.
Maybe we could get like you on both sides of the screen. You could debate yourself like Stephen A does sometimes, you know?
Yeah, right. Basically talking to a wall, talk to myself. That'd be funny. Or like I don't know if you saw that Lakers podcast where like the guy was allegedly getting catfish. He was either getting catfished or people also brought the rumor that like he was doing a podcast with himself and like altering his voice to be another person.
What?
So yeah, I don't know what the truth ever was, but people liked the idea that like he was talking and then like altering his voice and like laughing at his own jokes. So that'd be some psychopath stuff there.
Well, Pat, we started this podcast by sitting here and saying sheesh back and forth in a high pitched
Yeah, we did.
voice. So, I mean...
we did. Yeah, we might be going off the rails ourselves. 21 episodes in here, but
hey, Pat, it's 21, man. We're here, Pat. And I know, man, you got your second vax, man, and Massachusetts has some big news for us, and you know, has to do with some full capacity. Let's go.
Right in time, right? Fully vaxxed. I know you'll get it eventually, but Mass is opening back up May 29th, and Fenway Park and TD Garden are both going full capacity. Hopefully, who knows if the Celtics will still be playing at that time. I mean, I hope so, but that'll depend how the play-in games go. But yeah, TD Garden full capacity. Tickets will be more readily available. Fenway Park is probably the more ideal thing to do because we'll obviously definitely be playing. And yeah, I hope I get to a Red Sox game, but it'll be cool to see full capacity. It's gonna be mobbed. Like Yawkey Way is gonna be packed. The vendors are going to be out. Beautiful days, those Sunday afternoon games. It's going to be nice.
Pat, we got to get one of them big old packages from the Revs, dude, because before the Revs were just selling it to season ticket members because it was partial capacity, but now they can sell 60,000 tickets again. So those tickets are going back to like $15. So yeah, I am ready for some Revs games too, man.
I know there's so many seats at Gillette too. Like we could get right in pretty cheap.
Yeah, no, we absolutely could. Well, Pat, I'm looking forward to it, man. Hopefully you'll be able to get all the boys together and get to some games, man. Red Sox or Revs, whatever it is. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be fun. Little sense of normalcy again. I got to tell you though, the only thing from going to the Sox game, weird peeing in a public bathroom that has a bunch of people in it again, man. It is like
the troughs.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dude,
any women listeners would not understand, but those are disgusting.
You know how it is, dude, at Gillette when there's like 100 people packed into like 100 square foot bathroom and they're just all in line to pee. Oh, it's tough. But anyways, man,
but if you're drinking beers, it's like you gotta go at a certain point.
Yeah, dude, you got people holding 2 beers in their hands while they're peeing, and you're like, oh man, what am I doing?
You're like, this guy's gonna be back in 11 minutes. You're like, there's no way.
But Pat, man, why don't we get on to some headlines, man? And start with a little basketball here. It's gonna be a big basketball episode. But hey, man, start with our boy Steph Curry. Steph just halfway through the season decided to turn it on, man. He went into a different level. Potential MVP candidate, wins the scoring title, 32 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists. This dude was unbelievable. We talked about it. This guy saved the NBA. He saved the NBA season. It was getting boring. All the stars were out. Steph put on an absolute show every single night of April into May. Unbelievable performances. Shout out Steph Curry, man. Scoring title, all NBA. Unbelievable season from Steph.
Yeah, he did what he had to do for the Warriors, right? But imagine like if he had this level of play and Klay Thompson was there, like what seed would the Warriors be? Because they're in the play-in game. But I got to imagine they'd be top 4 if they had Klay, if not a 1 or 2 seed. I mean, it's the Jazz and the Suns. I could have seen them being just as good as those 2 teams if they had Klay.
I was saying before the season over and over again, the Warriors would be best team in basketball. The best. Dude, Steph, Klay, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, James Wiseman. James Wiseman's missed the last month and a half too. Klay changes that entire team. Wiggins becomes a 5th option. It would have been an unbelievable team. But dude, what Steph did, only player in NBA history other than Michael Jordan to win the scoring title after the age of 33. To be this age, man, coming off a big injury last year, everything he's done, I just have the utmost respect for Steph Curry, what he's done and what he's done for this team, man. He's passed Will Chamberlain to be the all-time scorer, man. He's passed people on all-time threes. He's going to catch Ray Allen. Unbelievable career, unbelievable season, and man, we're blessed to see Steph. He's approaching some top 15, 20 conversations. People have him top 10, but he's a top 5 point guard. He's probably a top 3 point guard in my book. And, shout out Steph, scoring title, unbelievable year.
Yeah, his entire career has been unbelievable. And it's hard to think like he's that old. It's weird how time has flown. Because I remember watching him at Davidson. And then I think about like all the time that's passed in my life. And I'm like, it's like, it makes sense that he's that old, but it doesn't feel like it because he looks young and he doesn't play like he's, over 33. Like it doesn't seem that way at all.
That's true. Never forget the Timberwolves taking Ricky Rubio with the 4th pick, Johnny Flynn with the 6th pick, and Steph Curry going 7th. Never forget.
That's tough. That's tough.
Never
and I loved Rubio, but yeah, I mean, Curry, obviously I can, hindsight's 2020, but Curry was a no-brainer. Come on.
We all would have taken Curry first overall over Blake. We all would have done that. But hey, man, let's move on. The New York Giants, the New York Football Giants, they're signing Kelvin Benjamin, and rumor is he's going to put on some weight and play tight end. Pat, I got to tell you, I love this move. I really liked Kelvin Benjamin when he came to the league. I liked him in Carolina. 6'5", was already rocking like 230, 235, big guy.
Yeah, and his rookie season was over 1,000 yards. I mean, he had a great season.
Yeah, and who knows what went wrong, man, but he hasn't played in the NFL since 2018, so I'm glad to see that he's back. This is a guy that can actually come back to the, NFL and play tight end. So I'm excited to see this as compared to some of the other ones, but we'll see what happens. This is kind of also the new age tight end. 6'5", thin receiver body, Kyle Pitts, George Kittle, Travis Kelce. This is the new vibe, man. You want these guys out there. So I like this signing.
We've seen success in guys who transition from wide receiver to tight end in the past too. I mean, you look at like Darren Waller. Darren Waller was a receiver and then became tight end at the Raiders. And now he's top 3 tight end in the game. It's him, Kelce, and Kittle, I would say. I mean, Waller's putting up ridiculous stats, mostly because the Raiders didn't have a receiving core last season. But yeah, I mean, he's a beast. So yeah, I would say Kelvin Benjamin's a great signing for the Giants, but he does join a crowded Giants tight end room. I mean, there were a couple others that were listed, but the 3 primary names are now it's Evan Engram, Kyle Rudolph, and Kelvin Benjamin, which Evan Ingram's a beast. He has a lot of drops and he has a tough time staying healthy, but Kyle Rudolph was a trademark name in Minnesota for years. So he's got a lot of competition, but it might be good. I could see Kelvin Benjamin being a good option for Daniel Jones.
Right. Keep stacking those good positional players, man. Give that young quarterback all the talent in the world. And hey, this is a flyer pick, This is like a training camp. See how he works. See how he runs at tight end. I mean, you want to watch a linebacker cover Kelvin Benjamin? No, thank you. So that's why they're putting him at tight end. It's going to be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, it's a better tight end option than Tim Tebow, I would say.
And moving on to those Jags, man, Urban Meyer just continues.
What is he doing? What is going on?
He's just being Urban Meyer, But dude, so they're working out Travis Etienne. They take Travis Etienne. Yes, he's Trevor Lawrence's running back. So it makes sense. You want to get him a familiar guy, his guy. Travis Etienne is one of, if not the greatest running back in the history of the ACC. He has the most yards, touchdowns, all this stuff. You take him in the first round after James Robinson has a 1,000-yard season for you.
Yep.
Which, where are you supposed to find running backs in later rounds like James Robinson? I think he was a 3rd or 4th round pick. And then you bring in Travis Etienne, man, 1st round pick, and you're running him at wide receiver. Now, there's people saying, oh, Lawrence couldn't hand off with that arm. His elbow was tweaked, whatever. Dude, this is just stupid. Urban Meyer is making a show. And that's what he does. He creates just drama and distraction everywhere he goes, man. I don't know what he's doing, man. I don't. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know if he's looking to create like a McCaffrey or like a Le'Veon Bell, but it's tough to develop a guy like that. I feel like those guys already had those type of skills, and it could be successful. I mean, Urban Meyer said worst case scenario, we have a running back who can also catch the ball really well. So when you think about it like that, yeah, that's a good game plan. But I saw I saw someone say it was like there were actual wide receivers available when we took Travis Etienne. So if you were looking for a receiver, which the Jaguars probably should have been looking at, I don't know why they didn't just go receiver, because I was
Rashad
surprised.
Bateman.
Yeah,
2
I was
picks later.
literally, I was surprised when they took Etienne in general because they had James Robinson. So when they took him, I was surprised. Obviously, he played with Lawrence, so that makes sense. But now that you see him working out at wide receiver, all of like rookie mini camps, it's a question mark. And who knows? Maybe Urban Meyer's got some secret we don't know. Maybe Travis Etienne will work out at receiver, or he's just trying to develop like a dynamic receiving back like Christian McCaffrey or Le'Veon Bell. That's kind of like the new age running back, but I'm going to be interested to see how they actually utilize him throughout the season.
Dude, I mean, this is what Urban does, man. He goes, wins, and then destroys programs. You know, he did it at Florida, he did it at Ohio State, and now he comes to the NFL, man. And his first move in the NFL is to hire this coach from Iowa State, who gets fired after one day because he has racially abused players at more than one school as a strength coach and
Oh,
a coach.
goodness.
So Urban, what do you do in the middle of this political climate? You hire this guy, he gets fired after a day. What's your next big stunt? Tebow. What's your next big stunt? Etienne. Just stop it, Urban. Coach some football, man. This locker room can't be happy. You bring in Tim Tebow as a tight end.
Yeah.
You think the locker room's happy?
It's too many
You-
gimmicks.
You start running this guy. You think the locker room's happy? You have to fire your first hire after one day because of racial abuse. You think the locker room's happy? Man, this is not going to be a pretty season. It can't be for the Jags. This is absurd.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be strange. I really am curious to see how they do. And like I said, it's just a lot of gimmicks going on. I don't know. Hiring Urban Meyer, possibly a gimmick. Travis Etienne, a running back at receiver, a gimmick. Signing Tim Tebow to tight end is definitely a gimmick. So we'll see what happens.
I think he's the only practice squad tight end in the league that gets a media interview, probably.
Probably. Oh yeah. Yeah. You won't even see Kelvin Benjamin getting an interview. It'll just be Tebow.
Yep. All right, Pat, let's move on. What, dude, you sent me this video. You got to talk about this real quick. This was awesome.
Nick Castellanos, who we already had love for on this podcast because he got suspended those 2 games just because of that the showboating. But so we love Nick Castellanos now. But he let a fan just behind the home plate do his like post game interview. And
gave him the headphones.
Yeah, gave him the headphones and everything. You could tell the interviewer was so nervous. He's like, "All right, you're on live television, so let's be careful." He was probably, I would have been sweating because you don't know who he's handing it to. You don't know what he's gonna say.
Yeah.
And of course, like he doesn't say anything bad, but the guy goes after Rob Manfred. He's like, yeah, Nick just pictured the ball, the home run ball. He's like, he pictured it as Rob Manfred's head and just absolutely smoked it. So. And the interviewer's like, all right, we'll leave it there. We'll stop it at that. So Nick Castellanos, without even saying it, got a Rob Manfred diss in. Those Reds fans helped him out, and we might see Nick get a fine without even saying anything. So that's what we're waiting for, is if Nick's gonna get a fine from the league.
Yeah, dude, you texted me that clip, and that's what I responded with. I was like, somehow Castellanos is still gonna get fined, even though he didn't say a word. This fan's trashing Manfred, dude, and Castellanos is standing there with his arms crossed, like nodding, like, oh yeah, no,
yeah, yeah, not saying anything, but like kind of agreeing. He's like subtly agreeing. He's like, yeah,
Pat,
what are you gonna do? That's what he said.
I think that Right Off the Bus has become a Nick Castellanos fan account, man.
Yeah,
Like,
we're
I
a
think,
fan club.
I think we're a Stan podcast, man, because this guy is just killing it.
Yeah, he's the type of guy we need. That's what the league needs. They need more Trevor Bowers. They need more Nick Castellanos. So
you did that as a What We've Learned. I remember you know, get those
Yeah.
high energy guys in, these guys that are just blowing up the league and taking over, man. It's fantastic. We love it.
yeah, and
Absolutely.
then like, just for example, it's like the unwritten like sportsmanship rule of like being up by too much. It's like I feel like no lead is too big in the MLB. Like you had a guy in the White Sox. They had some guy in there lobbing balls in for the Braves. I think it was the Braves throwing like 50 miles an hour.
Mhm.
And they're up like 13-4, and the White Sox guy just tees off on a ball, just smokes it. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to pad the stats too. Like if I'm up there getting like my 6th home run of the year, I'm trying to do that. I'm not trying to just like, what's the difference in going up 12-4 or 13-4? There's no difference. It's like it's MLB. Like you're at the highest level of the sport, and you're not gonna just try every time you're out there. Like you expect the guy to just take a walk or something.
Herm
I
Edwards,
don't get
man.
it.
You play to win the game. You play to
Yeah.
win the game.
Mhm.
It's true, man. No lead is safe, man. And in baseball, it changes like that. So 10
Exactly.
minutes, 10
You don't
runs
know
get
what's gonna
scored.
happen. I would say you just keep going. So
Yes, sir.
old heads in the MLB got to stop complaining.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pat, moving on to a little soccer here, real quick. Manchester City, your team, wins the Premier League. You see Pep with that fat cigar singing some Oasis, dude.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was great.
this team, really caught fire in the second half of the season. Ilkay Gundogan, unbelievable year. The rest of the guys, they did their thing. So shout out Man City. I got no love, but it was nice seeing Pep,
Yeah,
enjoying
Pep,
his
you can
time.
see how happy he is. He's a good guy, smoking his cigar, singing along to Oasis. It's funny too, coming from like Spain, and now he's been in Manchester for 4 years, and he's just like an Oasis guy. That's hilarious to me. So that was cool, and yeah, good for City. And now they got a shot at the Champions League as well.
Yeah, no, they're doing big things, man, and staying with City, man. Pat, Sergio Aguero, man, kind of seems like he's out the door, and it seems like an agreement has been reached with Barcelona,
Yep.
and it hasn't been announced. Nothing's official, so we'll see what happens. But I'll let you speak on this, man. Sad to see him go.
Well, I mean, we said a few weeks ago, like we know he's going somewhere and that this was going to be his last season. It just depends on where he goes. Barca's kind of surprising to me, but at the same time, I guess it makes sense. I could have seen him going back to Atletico, just like to return to his former club before City, or like coming to the MLS, but he might save MLS for like later in his career because he's not that old. I mean, he can
Early
still,
30s, yeah.
yeah, he can still play. So it makes sense. I think he'd go to Barca for a couple seasons, and there's nothing left he can do or has to prove at City. I mean, he's done it all. He's been there forever, and it's just a new generation of players. It's like I still can't believe Fernandinho is still there. So literally with all the guys we brought in, so I'm
Yeah.
surprised that they've made it this long.
Yeah, man. We'll see what happens. I think Aguero plays at Barca for 2 years, then goes to Inter Miami. I think it's just
Mhm.
weird for Barca. They let Suarez go last year. Now he's in the Golden Boot race for Atletico, and then you bring in, Aguero. Is that a drop off? Why didn't you keep Suarez? Weird to me. Bring in another old striker, but hey,
Yep.
is what it is, man. Sticking with strikers, Harry Kane requests a transfer away from Tottenham, man, after they failed to qualify for Champions League again. So Harry Kane says, I want to stay in the Premier League, but kind of rules out the London clubs, because Tottenham's a London club. So no Arsenal, no Chelsea. Liverpool is not happening. There's just no way of that. So Pat kind of makes me think that it's City or that it's United, unless he wants to go replace Jamie Vardy at Leicester City, which I'd be super into. But I think he's going to go to City, and I think he's going to dominate, and I think he's Aguero's replacement, and I'm really not happy about it because he's already a Golden Boot guy. And if he's playing for City, dude, like the goal record's in jeopardy at that point.
Yeah, we'd have to pay a pretty penny for him, though. I mean, to get Harry, but that'd be crazy for Leicester if he went there. I didn't even think about that.
I don't think
If he
they
stays
have the
in,
money, but
that'd be tough. Tottenham's gonna want a lot for him, but since he wants to leave, that might speed up the process. I feel like when you request a transfer, it might make you a little cheaper. I
agree.
feel like it's tough when a guy wants to stay there, but like when the relationship is broken, then you kind of have to offload him because at that point he's just going to be a problem in the clubhouse. So for Harry Kane, yeah, Manchester United, Man City, Leicester, those would probably all be options.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. This is one of the best strikers in the world. Has never won a trophy. Has zero, big trophies to show for his career. So he needs to move somewhere where he can start performing at that high level. Hey, man, maybe it's Bayern Munich, maybe it's Real Madrid. Who knows where he goes? But let's see what happens with Harry Kane. And then Pat, wrapping up these headlines, man. UFC 262, if you want to dive in.
Yeah, we just had the couple. So the co-main and the main. I don't know if you watched Tony Ferguson. I feel bad because everyone loves Tony, but he faced Beneil Dariush, and I think Tony he lost too much when he fought Gaethje. I mean, he got beat up for 5 straight rounds, and then he had to face Charles Oliveira, who is now the champion. So and then he fights Beneil Dariush, who is on a 7-fight winning streak now. So it's like it's hard to say he should retire, but because he is fighting the best of the best. I mean, he's fought Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, and now Beneil Dariush, who are all champion, then like the number 2, and then now like the number 5. Now that Beneil beat Tony, so he's fighting top 5 lightweights in the world in the best division in the UFC. So it's tough to say if he should retire. I think he should probably do like one more fight, maybe like a retirement fight. He is 38. He's been around forever. He's done everything. And it would be sad to see him go, but at this point, it would just make sense. I hate seeing the old guys just start to lose as they get older, like Donald Cerrone. Like I know Carter, one of our roommates, loves him. I love him, but he's lost like 5 out of his last 6, and he's just getting old. He lost.
He just wants the bag.
Yeah, he lost the other weekend. So like as these guys get older, I think it's tough, but they need to know when to call it quits. So I would like to see Tony fight one more time and then retire. And for Beneil, he said he's going to take a little time off. And when he comes back, he'll get a top 5 opponent. He'll get possibly a title eliminator because he's the real deal. 7-fight win streak. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I did like his post-fight interview. He called out Elon Musk, which is like everyone's calling out Elon Musk. Yeah, because I guess he ordered a car and like it's been taking a while. And he said, "Where's my car? I got a baby on the way." And he wants his car for his baby. So, but he'll call out Elon Musk. That was entertaining. And then just
next celebrity fight.
Yeah. And then just in the title fight, you had Michael Chandler, who came over from Bellator. He was their champion for a while. And then he came over, fought Dan Hooker, beat him. And then he ended up in a title fight against Charles Oliveira for the lightweight belt, which, as you know, was now vacant because Khabib retired. So Khabib left it behind. And then we could finally move on with the division. Khabib wasn't just dominating it, even though he probably could have for years to come if he wanted to keep going. And Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler looked good in the first round. I thought he was going to win for a second. He almost knocked out Charles. And then Charles just kept going, came out like 20 seconds into the second round, knocked him out, which is crazy because Charles Oliveira is a submission guy. He has the most submission wins of all time in the UFC, and now he has the most finishes in general in the UFC of all time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that was his 28th fight too. So it was like the most fights ever to win a title before winning a title in the UFC. So I mean, it's a guy who deserves it, as opposed to Chandler, who that was his second fight in the UFC. And then you got Oliveira, who's been around since 2010 and fought 28 times in the organization. And to see him finally get a title, like it was cool. He ran into the crowd. He was all over like the commentators, Rogan and John Anik. He's right in their face. He actually got blood on like Michael Chandler's his like bio page that the announcers read. So that was kind of ironic.
That is funny.
But yeah, if you watch UFC this weekend, if not, Charles Oliveira is the new lightweight champion. Tony Ferguson probably should retire at some point soon. And that about wrapped it up.
All right, man. All right. Hey, so Pat, good UFC 262, good fight night, but time to move on to some full-time basketball, touch a little in there. But hey, ball don't lie, Pat. We're going to get on to the Hall of Fame inductees from 2020 real quick, and then we'll talk about them going into 2021 and who was announced. But Pat, it was headlined by the big 3, right? It was Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, and Tim Duncan. Obviously, the big story is Kobe here. Obviously, he's been gone. Can you believe, dude, that was January 2 years ago? Like it's been like 16,
time has flown.
17 months since Kobe passed, man. It's crazy. But Vanessa gave an emotional speech backed up by Michael Jordan standing up there supporting her. And, it was nice to watch. She made some really nice comments. And of course, saying, wishing that Gigi could be there to see this. And Kobe's immortalized and all this stuff. So it was very sad. And then it was Kevin Garnett and Tim Duncan, and neither of them said, really anything of great importance when it came to their Hall of Fame speeches. Kind of as expected based on their personalities. Got to shout out KG, got the jersey up.
Yep. They were all just likable guys, like some of the most likable in the league. Tim Duncan, Kobe, everyone loved Kobe. And then Kevin Garnett, obviously, holds a special place in our hearts, Celtics fans.
Without a doubt, man. That's why I got the jersey up behind me, dude. KG, I mean, anything is possible. Screaming that after that championship. One of the OG big 3s now. Just real quick, man. Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant, I got them both in my top 10 all time. I think that, they are the elite of the elite, both 5-time champions, MVPs, finals MVPs. And then Kevin Garnett, I got in my top 20. I think KG's an underrated player ever. KG's one of 5 players ever, or 6 players ever, to lead their team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks for a whole year. He did in 2004, MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. KG's an underrated all-timer, man. Absolutely love him. And yeah, man, mostly shout out KG out of these 3. You know, Kobe and Tim, they're locked in. Kevin Garnett's on that next tier of greatness. And for a kid to come straight out of high school and come and do what he did in the league and bring the intensity that he did every single night, never took a night off. I mean, shout out KG, man. One of my
Yeah, and
favorite
KG
players
was
ever.
so quiet about what he did for so long before he came to the Celtics. I mean, he was on the T-Wolves, who were really not good, but he was just, him being on that team was criminal because he was so good on that team. It's unbelievable. Like, but he was so quiet. He was one of the quietest guys in the league. You never heard about him because of the team he was on. And then he comes to the Celtics. He teams up with the big 3, and they get a title.
Yeah, man, unbelievable to watch. One of my favorite players ever. One of the most motivating players ever.
He's a beast. You cannot love KG.
Yeah. And he came out with a book like a month and a half ago, and I downloaded it a couple weeks ago. So I'm gonna start getting into that book too. It's called A to Z. So I'm excited. I'm excited to check his book out. And then the last thing on the 2020 class, man, is Rudy Tomjanovich, man. Who couldn't say that for a second? Player, coach, Hall of Famer, man. He's in as a coach now. And in his speech, he said, you know, real quick, I just got to say, Robert Horry, you need to be in the Hall of Fame, man. 7-time champion, one of the most clutch players ever. Big shot Bob. I understand he was never, you know, the superstar, but this isn't the NBA Hall of Fame. This is the Basketball Hall of Fame. Robert Horry deserves to be in there. So I wanted to just bring that up too. I like the comment from Coach Rudy Tomjohn over there, man. And I agree with him. I think that I think Horry should be included in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's not about just like NBA players. It's, you know, it's about all basketball. That's why college coaches get in. That's why coaches in general. That's why, you know, pioneers for European basketball, like in the 2021 class, we have Tony Kukoc, who is just, you know, he doesn't have the greatest stats all time in career, but being from Croatia, like he led their team in international tournaments. And then he was just he's a 3-time ring winner. He was on the Bulls during one of their prime runs. So it's good to see people that you wouldn't normally hear about, but you look at their stats and their career and what they've done. They deserve to be there.
Yeah, man, bigger than just basketball. You think about a guy like Yao Ming. Yao Ming didn't have a Hall of Fame career, but it's just so much bigger than just your NBA stats and all that, you know. And I think that's part of Big Shot Bob, man. You know, everywhere he went, he won, and he hit the most important shot in most of those situations. So hey, shout out Robert Horry. Hope he gets in sometime, Pat. Now, the 2021 class, Pat. So we got a couple headliners. We'll run through some other names. I don't even know who some of these people are. But first, the big 4, right? Chris Bosh is getting in. Chris Webber, Ben Wallace, and Paul Pierce. I think all 4 of these guys deserve to get in. But it is kind of funny. I feel like Paul Pierce is sort of above the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
But I can't say that because Ben Wallace, multiple championships, multiple Defensive Player of the Years, one of the baddest dudes out there, has an unbelievable story coming up, JUCO and all this stuff. Ben Wallace, scary.
Yes, so good to see Ben Wallace in there. I was so happy to see his name in the conversation, and then actually gets to be in the class. I was loving it. That's awesome.
He's on my all-time wouldn't fight starting 5 in the NBA.
He's a beast. He's a big guy.
Chris Bosh, wish his career lasted longer. Unfortunately, he had some blood clots and things going on in his lungs, so he couldn't finish out his career. But he's still a multiple-time champion. He's still a 20-10 career guy. I think Chris Bosh was super important and sacrificed as much as anyone on those Heat teams. I like his inclusion here.
And what he did for the Raptors, too, before he came. Right. I mean, helped put Toronto basketball on the map, like besides Vince Carter, but helped put Toronto basketball on the map. He was a staple there. And then just like everyone, they want a ring chase. He goes to the Heat. He was an integral part. I mean, he was part of that big 3. He was integral to that. And so he was just as much a part of that as Dwayne Wade and LeBron.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, man. I absolutely am. Chris Webber, I love his inclusion as well. Had a phenomenal career, obviously the Fab 5. And that's another thing. Chris Webber, phenomenal career. But you look at the Fab 5 and the cultural implications that had, dude. You had 5 black freshmen wearing baggy shorts, dunking on everybody when that was just not how basketball was at the time. And it changed. It changed the culture around basketball and college basketball. So Chris Webber, plus his NBA career, all-star dude, dunking on everyone, man. From the Kings to other teams, he was phenomenal. I love Chris Webber. I love that he's included. Not my favorite broadcaster, but happy he got in here.
No, he doesn't have the same broadcasting skills as his basketball skills, so we'll keep those two separate.
I guess being 6'9", 260 of solid muscle isn't as useful in the broadcasting booth.
Yeah,
we love Chris Webber, man. Shout out Chris Webber. But then Paul Pierce, man. I mean, what can you say? Champ, clutch player, stabbed 8 times and then goes out and averages 24 a game.
Unbelievable.
Very selfless leader too. Sacrificed, for the Celtics team and was still dropping 25 on bad teams. I love Paul Pierce. I love how he just left ESPN by partying with strippers.
Yeah, he's clearly
J's
living
on
life
IG
to the
Live.
fullest now. Inducted in the Hall of Fame. He's partying with whoever he wants to. Hopefully, we'll see another IG Live from him soon. Hey, he doesn't have any reputation of keep anymore. It's already happened. He's not with ESPN. He might as well go for it.
Post his Hall of Fame induction, like he's gonna do the whole thing, give the speech, and he's gonna be on IG Live an hour later going crazy.
Yeah, I wonder what he was celebrating with afterwards.
But dude, I mean, Paul Pierce, obviously phenomenal career. One thing I love, Rondo. I remember Rondo being out for a 25-game stretch, and Pierce started playing point guard, and he was averaging 8 assists a game. He was phenomenal. Flirted with triple doubles. Mastered the slowdown game. Honestly, when I watch Luka Doncic play, I see so much Paul Pierce because Luka decelerates as good as anyone in the league and just has that slow, just old man game, but you don't know how to stop it and you don't know how sharp his movements are. Pierce had that. You think about Al Harrington trying to pants him when he came around the screen. I mean, Ron Artest still hitting the shot. You think about the time that he left in a wheelchair because he was too embarrassed because he pooped his pants, dude. Pierce just had it.
Unbelievable.
He had a career, man. He just had it.
Yeah, so many moments. It's awesome. You gotta love Pierce, and just a Celtic for pretty much life. I mean, just a Celtic for life.
Celtics legend, absolutely. Now, Pat, we'll just run through these, man. Rick Adelman, awesome coach. Love that he got in. Jay Wright, he's been doing that at Villanova forever.
He fully deserves it. Yeah, Jay Wright's a beast.
And a champion in the college ranks. Hopefully he comes to the NBA at some point, but I don't know if he ever leaves Villanova. He might be there for 40 years.
Yeah, I would love to see him in the NBA. That'd be cool. I mean, hey, Steve Nash is coaching.
Yep.
Jason Kidd was coaching.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally with you there. Hey, Bill Russell gets in as an exec. He's already in as a coach and player. And it's kind of like, oh, yeah, he did these things. Let's get him in late. But I did see someone tweet, hey, Bill is a living, breathing, walking legend. What he did in a million different facets of sports. It is just unbelievable what he did. Give him all the flowers you can while he's here. I'm with it. He's old. He's not looking great all the time. Give Bill all the flowers. We love it, Bill. And then just continuing to run through the list, man. Yolanda Griffith, Lauren Jackson, Bob Dandridge. He had a great career in the league. Tony Kukoc, like you said, phenomenal career. 6th man of the year, couple-time champion. Pearl Moore, Clarence Jenkins, Val Ackerman, Cotton Fitzsimmons, and Howard Garfinkel, probably the best name on this list. Shout them all out, man.
Yep.
Basketball Hall of Fame. You're immortalized. You had such an impact on the game. We appreciate all of you.
And it was weird getting 2 classes in back-to-back days. I was so confused by that when I was just trying to look at the list because I was like, wait. I was like, Kobe was inducted last year. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. I was like, I saw Chris Webber on the list, and it was a whole thing researching it.
Yeah, dude, because it, like you said, it was at the same time, man. It's like when they it's like when Schefter tweets out the first 10 picks of the draft before they happen. You're like, wait, is this right now?
Yeah.
All right, Pat, man. Hey, shout out to all those Hall of Famers. I'm going to stick with some basketball and just move on to the NBA playoff bracket, Pat. So, we're just going to give our little predictions here, and we're literally just looking at this bracket and we're just going to go off it. So we're going to start with those playing games, man. So let's start with that 9-10 seed in the West, Pat. 9-10, Memphis, San Antonio. Who do you have winning that game?
I think Popovich's coaching is going to get it done. I think I go Spurs. I think DeRozan will put in a lot of work. I think we'll see the Spurs.
I'm gonna go opposite here, Pat. I'm going Ja Morant 40 piece.
Ja, okay.
I like that Jaren Jackson's back healthy. I like Valanciunas, and this seems just like this seems like one of those times to just have a youngster go off, and I'm hoping that's what happens. That was kind of the flavor of last year's NBA playoff. I want that to happen again. I want the Jamal Murray, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, Hero. I want the 40 pieces from all of them. So I'm gonna go Ja Morant, 40-point triple double. It's not gonna happen, but that's my prediction.
Yeah, that's a bold, but I like it. I like it. And hey, we need to see Zion in the playoffs too. We need to see what happens there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. So then the 7-8 matchup. Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors. This is
This is a
the
great
playoff matchup.
Yeah, this is great. And the fact that it's just one game, like that's unreal.
How did the NBA work this, man? This was all planned to get LeBron Steph in a wild card matchup. Now, Pat, what I like here is I think both these teams are going to the playoffs because whoever loses this game gets Memphis or San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the Lakers winning this game. I have the Lakers, LeBron AD rested, winning this game. Steph can score 45. I think the Lakers still win. But then I have the Warriors beating Memphis in that 8-9 match. So the Warriors would get the 8 seed. That's how I see it unfolding.
I think I would actually agree with you there. I think the Lakers are going to be tough for anyone in the playoffs. The fact that they're in, I mean, it's like I feel like they were just sandbagging everyone all year. Like they have health problems and stuff, but then everyone gets healthy, and it's like you have LeBron, AD, Drummond. It's like that's LeBron just shows out in the playoffs. I mean, he wills his team to victory, and for him to win that game, I do think they're going to win, and I think they're going to go on to face the Suns, and that is a tough matchup for the Suns. I was saying to you before we even started the podcast, I was like, I feel terrible for the Suns if the Lakers win, because the Suns finally not only get in the playoffs, but they're a 2 seed. Nobody thought they would be that high. CP3 just doing unreal things, D-Book. So Lakers against Suns, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. But yeah, I think the Lakers win that game, and I think they go on to play the Suns.
I could definitely see that happening, man. And did you see LeBron's comment about Steph the other day? He said we are playing the MVP of the league. Like what this guy did. Dude, this stuff is so calculated from LeBron because you know what the narrative is now. He builds narratives better than anyone in the league. Oh, well, LeBron thinks this guy's the MVP. We have to go against the MVP. Our road is harder. We beat the MVP if we beat him. Oh, you didn't beat him? Well, we lost to the MVP. LeBron's so calculated.
He's building that narrative. He is.
He's so calculated. It really is funny. All right, Pat. So we want to keep running through the West, or we want to hop to the East playing games?
Yeah, well, we can hop to the East playing game, which we'll take our guess, but the results will be known when this releases.
It's true. That's true. So 9-10, we got Charlotte, Indiana. I'm going Charlotte for the pure fun of the team, man. I don't think Hayward's going to come back and play in this game, even though he's like close to coming back. But I see Charlotte, dude. LaMelo in a playing game. Give me a LaMelo 25 piece. Give me the Miles Bridges dunks. Give me the PJ Wash. Give me the Hornets announcers going crazy, dude. Like, I love it. I love what the Pacers have done. I like Sabonis. I love Brogdon. I love LeVert. But man, give me Charlotte in this game.
It would definitely be cool to see like the Hornets and LaMelo Ball make it to a series just because they haven't done it for so long. So to finally see them in a series would be awesome. Even though if they win that game, they would play the Sixers, right? Or would they have to play another game?
Yeah, so with that game, whoever wins that game plays the loser of Boston, Washington.
Okay, so they would still have to play another game. Yeah, okay. I think I gotta go. Just the players you listed, I'm gonna go Pacers. I mean, Karis LeVert, Malcolm Brogdon, Deontis Sabonis. We've seen them. They had the worst home loss in NBA history against, I think it was the Spurs. They lost by like 50 something. But I think in this time, that's a fluke. I think with the Pacers at full strength can beat the Hornets handily. I think the Pacers take that one.
There was a point that I heard about the Hornets that I actually kind of liked, and I don't really like buy into it too much, but Terry Rozier has been to Eastern Conference Finals and played really and like willed his team in playoff games to wins.
Yeah, he's got a little playoff experience.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of underrated here, but again, like, it's the 10 seed, so it's not like we're picking them to go much farther.
I mean, they're a sneaky good team. They are.
Yeah.
I could very well be wrong. I just think it's going to be Pacers.
All right, you got Pacers, I got Hornets, man, and regardless, they're playing one of these teams, Boston, Washington. Pat, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think that the Washington Wizards beat my Boston Celtics for the 7-8. But then I got the Celtics beating Charlotte in that following game to get the 8 seed.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Russell
You know what?
Westbrook, triple double. Bradley Beal, if he's healthy. The Celtics are just so beat up, so torn apart. No Jaylen Brown. The team's just hasn't been healthy. It's been a bad year. I think the Washington Wizards could do it.
And I think Celtics are gonna win that game. First because I think Bradley Beal might not play. That's gonna be huge for us if he doesn't. If he does, it's gonna be trouble. But if he doesn't play, I think we have a good chance. But I'm gonna go Celtics there. But I will say I almost would rather your scenario, because if we lose to the Wizards and then beat the Hornets or the Pacers, whoever's in that game, and we end up playing the Sixers, I would rather play the Sixers as opposed to the Nets. I think the Nets are, even though they're the 2 seed, I think the Nets are better than the Sixers. They're more talented. That's a much scarier series to me. I think we just have better luck and I think we match up better with the Sixers. I think we're in their heads every year. And I would rather that scenario. But I'm gonna say the Celtics win that game.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you there. I don't blame you there. And then who would you have getting that 8 seed? Would you have Washington or would you have Indiana, because they'd be playing for the 8 seed?
I think at that point Beal might play, and I would take the Wizards. So I think that 7 and 8 seed right there, no matter what, makes it to the playoffs, makes it to the actual series games.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you there. And I feel the same way. I think we both have the 7-8 guys as the 7-8 guys here. Well, we don't think the 9-10, which again, that means the play-in didn't work. If Pat and I don't think the 9 and 10 could get in, that means it's a bad idea. Let's get rid of it. But Pat,
we went the same in the West too. We said Warriors, Lakers. So
exactly.
So maybe we don't need it. But look at it. I mean, I'm kind of excited about the sudden death thing. Like, I'm although it's 2 games, it is 2 games to get eliminated. I am kind of excited about the 1 game proposition, even though it is weird. I don't know what to make of it.
We always complain about change, but we're still gonna watch the games.
Yeah.
And we're like, why'd the NFL add a 17th game so we can watch another one? We're just hating to hate.
Yeah, we get more red zone.
All right, Pat. 1-8 matchup. We got Utah and we got Golden State in both of our scenarios. So Utah, Golden State. Can Steph pull it out? I don't think he can. I think
come on.
I think you're throwing Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell, Jordan Clarkson just at Steph. I think Gobert protecting the rim. Like I got Utah. They're just playing such good basketball. I don't think Steph can do it by himself.
Yeah, I might be out of pocket with this one, but I think the Warriors do it.
Let's go.
I think the Warriors do it. I think the Warriors take that series against the Jazz. Like, I mean, I've said this, like, I don't have faith in the Jazz or the Suns. I don't, in the playoffs, I don't have faith. And the Jazz are really good, but I don't know. Something about the playoffs and Steph Curry basketball, man.
I love it.
I just think the Warriors could do it.
I absolutely love it. I love the 8-1 upset. I'm super here for it. Pat, 2-7. Phoenix, Los Angeles Lakers. I think I already know your answer. And
I'm smiling. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, we're going Lake show. We're going Lakers over Suns. I have no faith.
I'm sorry, Devin Booker and Chris Paul, but you're not Anthony Davis and LeBron James.
And I'll say, for the sake of Phoenix fans, like, I would love to see the Suns win that series.
Yes.
Nothing more do I want to see in the playoffs than the Suns win a series. I would love that. That would be awesome. But do I think that can happen against the Lakers? No, I don't think so. If they ended up playing Golden State, I don't even know if that's possible. I can't. I don't know what the scenario.
If Golden State lost the 7-8 game and then won against the 9-10 seed, then they'd be playing Phoenix.
Yeah, and I know I just said Golden State will beat the Jazz.
Oh, I mean, the other way. Yeah, sorry.
Golden State against the Suns, if that were to happen, I don't know. I think that's a better series for the Suns. I don't know who would win that one, but just for the sake of what we're saying, Lakers Suns, I would go Lakers.
Okay. Let's stick in the West then, man. We got 2 matchups locked in. We got Clippers Dallas, and then we got Denver Portland. Clippers Dallas, give me the Clippers all day. I know Luka's so special, but he doesn't have enough help, and I think that if you have the perimeter defenders that the Clippers have, even past Kawhi and even past Paul George, you still have Nick Batum, you still have Pat Beverly, you have guys that can guard. So I got the Clippers there, and I think that they do it in 6 games.
Yeah, I would go Clippers there as well. Just for all the things you said, I don't think Luka has enough help. the Mavericks aren't quite there yet, and the Kawhi and Paul George in the playoffs is going to be too much for the Mavs as a whole.
Yeah.
I would agree
No.
with you there.
And then Denver versus Portland, man. I love how hot Portland's been lately. And they lost their last two, but they were hot before that.
Mm-hmm.
They lost last two of the season, but I got Denver, man. Jokic is maybe the MVP. If not, he's probably number 2. That team's firing. Even though they don't have Jamal Murray, I think that their depth and what they do on offense is enough to overcome this Blazers team.
And this this wouldn't even be a debate. I think this would just be a lock if they did have Jamal Murray. I think I still am going to go with Denver. I think the Nuggets are going to be too much. Like year in and year out, I mean, the Blazers are just Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, who are unbelievable. And Damian Lillard can will a team to victory just as much as the next guy. But I think Denver is going to be too much, regardless of not having Jamal Murray. So I would take Nuggets there. So we got Clippers and Nuggets. We agree on that there.
Yeah. So Pat, here's how this is looking. The Final 4 in the West for me would be Utah versus the Clippers and the Nuggets versus the Lakers. And yours would be the Warriors facing the Clippers and the Nuggets Lakers.
Okay.
So for me, I'm going to start. I got Utah versus the Clippers. I have the Clippers winning that. I think the Clippers get to their conference final. And I think that they have enough to overcome Utah. If you think Steph Curry has enough to overcome Utah, I think that the Clippers and Paul George and Kawhi could do it. Now, but instead you got Warriors Utah. So how you feeling about you got Warriors Clippers. How you feeling about that matchup?
I think one series is going to be the limit for the Warriors. If I do have them winning anything at all, I think it's one series. And I think once you start to get to the latter half of that playoff bracket, the Clippers are going to be too much. I would go Clippers there.
Okay. And then we got Nuggets Lakers, Pat. I'm going Lakers. It's still LeBron AD. They're still the defending champions, and their roster got better than last year.
Yeah, it's still Lakers. Like I said, they're sandbagging everyone. They're gonna come out in the playoffs. It's gonna be Lakers. I would take the Lakers there too.
So Pat, we got the pipe dream that everyone's been wanting the past 2 years. Or even 3 years. We got Lakers Clippers, man, in the conference finals. It's El Trafico, man.
Wouldn't that be weird? Like they play in the same arena. It's gonna be Clippers Lakers every night.
No travel. You get to sleep in your own bed. Like I just feel bad for the people that work at the stadium that just have to go switch the entire stadium every single night. Like
yeah.
Change the floor.
They do a lot of work there. They gotta the Kings aren't playing, but if the Kings were there, they would have to change it for the Kings.
Yeah, man, but
that'd be a nightmare.
Lakers Clippers, man. How you feeling? Lakers Clippers.
I was talking about LA Kings, by the way.
Oh yeah, no. It took me a second, but then I got
not
it.
Sacramento.
Like,
for anyone that thinks I'm dumb.
Hockey, yeah.
yeah, hockey. What was the one you just said?
Lakers Clippers, man. That's our conference finals.
That's Lakers.
We
gotta go Lakers. Come on.
So we got the Lakers, 7 seed, making the championship. I said it last week, lowest seed to ever win a ring. 6 seed Houston Rockets. Hakeem Olajuwon missed half the year. That's interesting, Pat. I like this. I like both of us have Lakers as the 7 seed coming out of the West. That's pretty crazy.
And
man.
They're a 7 seed, but realistically, they're not. They're not a 7 seed. They've had injury problems all year.
They were like the 2 seed all year. Yeah.
Yeah, they were playing with just Drummond at one point. Like they didn't even have who they just got on the team. They didn't even have AD or LeBron. Yeah, and they had a newly acquired Drummond.
Drummond debuted as their best player and was hurt in that first game.
Yep.
All right, Pat. So we got the Lakers coming out of the West. Now we're gonna move over to the East, man. So we're gonna start with this 1-8 matchup. You got the Celtics in it. I got the Wizards in it. Regardless, I got Philly winning it. It doesn't matter. I think that, like, yes, it's nice to say that we've handled Philly. Fun fact, Philly's beat us 9 of the last 10 regular season games, but we've dominated them in the playoffs, like just through and through every single year. Different team, different coach. I get it. I think Stevens is still a playoff coach. I still think it's very important, but no Jaylen Brown. Kemba can't play back-to-backs. Rob Will still isn't healthy. I just don't think the Celtics have enough. If Jaylen Brown was playing, even with how horrible the Celtics have been, I would pick the Celtics in this game. But I got the Wizards playing them. I got Philly winning. It don't matter. I got Philly.
It's too much adversity, right? I think any team that ends up there, the Sixers come out of it. And I would honestly go for the same for the Nets down at the 2. It's going to be Nets. It's going to be next Sixers. Nets, Sixers making it out.
I absolutely agree with you, and it is kind of unfortunate, but it's like this is the Philly and Brooklyn season, right? Like this is
it's their
they've
show.
they've been the top two seeds the entire year, and they've been dominating. They've been
They
dominating.
really have.
So we got them winning. So I mean, we got Brooklyn winning. So we'll just move on to the other matchups because we got Philly and Brooklyn going through. It doesn't matter which bad Washington or Boston team they're playing.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't matter.
the New York Knicks as the 4 seed, man. That's so crazy for me to say. Like
Yeah.
it's like Jeremy Lin, Amari Stoudemire, and Melo are on the team or something. But they're the 4 seed. They're playing the Atlanta Hawks, dude. I can't believe I was saying this. The New York Knicks are winning
The Knicks get it
series.
done. They win a playoff series. The Knicks win a playoff series for the first time in I don't know how long. I think the Knicks get it done too.
Which is crazy, Pat.
That is crazy. It's cool to see them there, man. It's cool.
They have home court. They have a home court in a play.
That's weird too. Yeah.
What?
Madison Square Garden. Hopefully, if Madison Square Garden's popping with like full capacity, that'd be crazy. I don't think it will, but
yeah. I'm also very much looking forward to seeing Trae Young play in multiple playoff games.
Me too.
I think that's going to be awesome.
And like the Hawks could easily win. I mean, the Hawks are a great team too, but I think the Knicks are just on fire.
Clint Capella led the league in rebounds.
I did not know that.
Pretty crazy.
That's impressive.
He had a great year for the Hawks, man. All right, so we both got the New York Knicks coming out of there, man. So then we move on. Milwaukee, Miami. Milwaukee's such a sneaky 6 seed again, man. And they were the team that stopped Giannis last year. They knew exactly how to defend him. Yeah. Did I misspeak?
Yeah, he said Milwaukee, but I knew you were talking about.
I'm like Milwaukee stopped Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, Miami.
MIAL, but anyways, man, I think that Giannis and Chris Middleton go win this. I like what the Heat have done. I love what they do in the playoffs. I think no one is better equipped to guard Giannis than the Heat, than Bam Adebayo, but I still have Milwaukee winning this. I think Giannis had a really underrated season. He should still be top 5 in MVP votes. And Milwaukee got better than they were last year, man. Drew Holiday is such a big addition. They have different rotation pieces. I like what Milwaukee did. I like that they have home court, and it's not the bubble. The Heat
this is true.
The Heat benefited from the bubble more than any team in the league. They barely had to travel. They were living in very familiar places. They had shooters that were super young in shooters gyms, no crowd, no travel. No. I think this is Milwaukee. I got Milwaukee.
Yeah, Miami's such a gritty team too, and I hate to agree with you so much, but I gotta go Milwaukee too. I don't think Miami get past Giannis. I think Milwaukee's gonna be too much.
All right, man. So then here we go with the final 4, Pat. Philly versus the New York Knicks. I like that just for the trash talk, man. I think
that's gonna be a good series.
But again, I think that Philly's too good. It's matchups, man. It's matchups. They don't have anyone to match up with Joel. Julius Randle can tag Ben Simmons, but the Sixers are so much better defensively, and I think just have a better roster put together for this matchup. I think if the Knicks were playing someone else, they'd have a better chance. But man, the fact I even have the Knicks winning a playoff series, I think is a win. Yeah. So I don't think, saying that they can't win 2 is a bad thing. I got Philly. Do it.
I think the Sixers choke. I think they choke. I think regardless of if they play the Hawks or Knicks there, it's a bold take. I think they choke. I don't know. Wow. I don't see them making it far in the playoffs. I think they lose that series. Wow. I think it'll be a close series, 6 or 7 games, but I think they lose.
I love it, Pat. I absolutely.
I gotta do it. I can't disagree with you.
You got the Knicks 7 games.
Knicks or Hawks? Technically Knicks because I picked the Knicks, but if the Hawks made it, I wouldn't be surprised.
I absolutely love it. Pat. Now, so we got Milwaukee and Brooklyn. Now, this is actually the team that I really like matching up with Brooklyn. I like how their pieces fit. I like the defenders they have, the length they have, but Brooklyn's too good.
Yeah, it's too good.
I can't back off now. The amount of times I've said this is the best team ever, I can't back off now. I think that Brooklyn is going to be steamrolling teams in the playoffs. I really do. They have only played 7 games with their big 3 all on the court. But dude, that big 3 is the best big 3 ever. Give me Brooklyn.
Yeah, then you just throw in Blake Griffin too. Unbelievable. I gotta go Brooklyn too. Like we said earlier in the year that we were like, oh, Brooklyn got Blake, they got LaMarcus Aldridge, who obviously retired, but we were like, wrap this league up now. Like it's the Nets time. But so yeah, I'm not gonna back off now. I'll go Nets there too.
All right. So Pat, I have Philly versus Brooklyn, and you have the New York Knicks in the conference championship
Imagine the
against the
two New
Brooklyn.
York teams.
Dude, that'd be kind of electric. I
Nets
would,
Knicks, that'd be crazy. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
dude, that is pretty nuts. But
Yeah, but the Knicks run stops there. It's gonna be Nets. I gotta go Nets there.
I think that's very fair, and I think same. I got Philly winning until this point, and this is I like this. I like the 1-2 conference matchup, man, at the end. But I mean, it's Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn has way too much. I think I think they're literally going to be resting starters in the playoffs, not in the conference championship, but I think they beat Philly. So Pat, you and I, we ended up at the same place we thought we'd be months and months ago. We got the Lakers and the Nets.
So just as the NBA has been for a little while now, it's somewhat predictable. We have Lakers Nets. Somewhat predictable.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. This is tough. This is tough, Pat, but I don't think that the Lakers, after playing 2 or 3, well, probably 3 actually, away series, no home court. I think a lot of travel.
2 play-in games.
Yeah, literally. So I don't think the Lakers have it. I think their run stops there. I actually think LeBron's getting old for the first time ever. I think that he's
been injured more than ever. Like really, he's had ankle problems. He's been out for a while.
I think the Nets will do it. And man, I really do genuinely believe this is one of the greatest basketball teams ever assembled, with the greatest big 3 ever assembled.
Yeah.
And I think Brooklyn does it, man. Kevin Durant, he's done in the playoffs. He's beat LeBron. And when you have James Harden and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I mean, and as much as like I don't want to agree with you, we're not going to back off now, right? We were high on the Nets, and I'm sure as everyone probably is. I think you just got to go Nets here. You have to. It's like you can't bet against Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant. You can't bet against that.
Yeah, it really is just such an unbelievable team. And Pat, I mean, that kind of wraps up our bracket here. And I don't know if it's a surprise to anyone, but Lakers Nets, I mean, that's what the NBA wants. Yeah. That's what we all want.
We had a couple of mismatches along the way, though. It could be an interesting playoffs if everything goes like we think or we bet. So
best case scenario, Russell Westbrook comes in and destroys Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets.
That would be
triple doubles every
unbelievable.
night.
That would be sweet. Yeah, hopefully it blows up. I mean, that would be awesome. You always hope for that. I don't want it to be as predictable, but I think in recent experiences, the NBA has been pretty predictable.
I think the NBA needs to decide right now that they're doing March Madness single elimination games right now.
Imagine. That would be awesome. No series, just boom, 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 one game.
I would absolutely love it. That would be so much fun. Pat, you got anything else on the playoffs, man? You want to get in there?
Man, that's it for me.
All right. So, hey, we're sticking with some more basketball. We got some listener questions to run through real quick, and a lot of basketball, Pat. We keep saying this is a basketball episode, but our boy Brett, man, he said, what do you think of Kwame Brown's IG rant, dude? And Pat, had you watched some clips of this? Man?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't even understand what he's talking about. I was like, you need to like explain what's going on to me.
Dude, I won't get too much into it, but Kwame, first overall pick all those years ago, man, and just never panned out. Had a bad career, like has been the butt of jokes forever. Stephen A has tormented him, Kwame Brown yelling about him, but he just went out. He called out everyone: Derek Fisher, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Gilbert Arenas. Dude, so much stuff he was saying. It was just absolutely hilarious. I know Brett was watching this cracking up. He had to have been. But dude, this is what happens when you have an athlete that hasn't even played pro ball in like 8 or 10 years and still gets harassed every single day. Mm-hmm. This is the problem with those just crazy fans, these 13-year-olds on Twitter that got nothing else to do, man. Like they're just talking about how this dude's trash. Yeah, well, you want to walk up to this 6'11", 270-pound man and tell him he's trash, this pro athlete?
Yeah, no one's going to tell that to Kwame Brown's face.
Dude, and say what you want, man. You're still one of the 450 best people in the world at your job. I mean, like
still a number one pick. It's more than just about anyone can say. So
I'd probably go on a horrible IG rant too if I got straight bullied for 20 straight years. I'd probably have some stuff I need to get off my
Yeah,
chest
you
too.
might snap on Matt Barnes too.
Yeah, dude, I love that. I love that he talked about Kobe and he goes, "Yeah, Kobe and I scored 82 together that game because Kwame had 1 and Kobe had 81." And he's like, "You see those screens I was sent, dude?" It's just like, "Shut up, Kwame. Talking about some screens you set for Kobe,
Setting
man."
screens for Kobe. Hey,
All right,
that's
man.
not bad. Not bad.
We got some questions from our boy Joe Braverman. His podcast, Let Me Speak official on IG. Stanley Cup predictions, Pat. All I gotta say is go bees. I know nothing.
Yeah, me and Chandler don't watch hockey. As if you've listened along, you could probably guess because we don't talk about hockey ever. We don't have much to say about it. Yeah, I mean, you got to go Bruins, right? The Bruins could do it. They could easily do it. They're a good team. I don't know. I don't know much about any of the teams, but go Bees. Bruins could get it done. Hey, full capacity crowds at the Garden too. If
Yeah,
starting May 29th. So if the Bruins can get past this series, it's going to be a problem. They're going to have full crowd.
I would agree with you there. I
The
absolutely
Garden's
would.
going to be popping. So let's go.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Another question from Joe, man. He said, "Who's a dark horse in the NBA playoffs, Pat?" And I gotta tell you, I'm just gonna go with just an absurd one because that's how I'm feeling. I got the Charlotte Hornets as
Okay.
the ultimate dark horse.
Yeah.
One, they're a 10 seed, right? Like that says enough. But they are just so fun and flowy on offense, and they have 5 guys on their team that can drop 35.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this team could accidentally win a couple games from a LaMelo triple double, a Rozier 40-point game, a Devonte Graham 10-3 game. So I don't know, dude. I don't think there's like a legit low seed dark horse. I don't consider the Lakers or the Warriors a dark horse being 7 or 8. But just for fun, I think that the Hornets could really upset some people if they're playing their best offense.
Yeah. My dark horse every year is just always the Blazers. Cause like you never know.
Yeah.
Like they're probably not gonna win. But Damian Lillard is a guy who, if anyone could will their team to victory, it's gonna be him. So I
Mhm.
think like every year, I think the Blazers could win a series, and I mean, very dark horse, very off chance, like they could make a run. It's not likely, but we are talking dark horses. I would go with the Blazers.
I'm gonna throw the Celtics on there too. If Tatum starts averaging 35 a game in the playoffs and some other guys get locked in, I could see the Celtics winning a few games they shouldn't win. But again, we
Yeah.
we're 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 pretty set on our
And hot
picks
take,
here.
like, are the Suns a dark horse? Like, does anyone think they're going to win? Like, they're a 2 seed, but are they
Chris
a dark
Paul,
horse to actually win?
Chris Paul's the only person that believes he's winning a championship this year. Like he
Yeah.
probably fully believes that they're winning.
There's no way anyone's riding the Suns except for Phoenix fans. There's no way.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they
They're a
would
two
be.
seed. You can't call them a dark horse. They're not low seed, but like to actually win a championship, I think they're very much a dark horse.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. No one really expects them to be there. Last question from our boy Joe, man. That was tough. I don't know what just happened there. That was like 3 tongue ties in a row. But our boy Joe, last question from him, man. Just Marv Albert announced his retirement. Shout out Marv, dude, one of the all-time great broadcasters. But he said, "What are some of your favorite broadcasting moments and broadcasters?" Joe's super into broadcasting. That's his thing. He's a play-by-play dude. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's why he's asking this question, Pat. I know you got a couple off the top of your head too.
Yeah, the three that come to my mind. First, baseball, Matt Vasgersian, because I mean, you play MLB The Show. I've been playing since like second
Yeah.
grade. Matt Vasgersian, iconic. You listen to him all the time. He's just got such a good MLB voice. Like the sun is shining. There's the Padres are playing the Dodgers. You got Matt Vasgersian on the call. So good. And then soccer, Martin Tyler, iconic moments. He's got the famous Aguero commentary when he won the
Yeah.
Premier League for City. And he's just had so many calls over the years. He's just iconic in soccer. And then one that I actually didn't list, but just from growing up, Dickie V. Dickie V is just
Oh,
iconic for
yeah.
college basketball. Love Dickie V. Just upset city, baby. Yeah, it's just that's Dickie V, and he's awesome. So those are my three. For in terms of like moments, it's so hard to list specific moments because there's so many. I think you probably have one, but I couldn't think of any when we started.
Yeah, no, I mean it's tough, but I mean like that Aguero one is definitely a moment for you, man. That's
Yeah,
that's
like I
a
listed that. That's
yeah.
one of them for sure.
Yeah, one of them for me, dude. And yeah, I'm like a broadcasting nerd too. Like I love this stuff, man. And the 2012 finals, Heat Spurs, like LeBron James takes a three, Chris Bosh with the rebound, kicks to the corner, Allen for three, bang!
Bang.
Like
Yeah.
Mike Breen just patting bang, dude. Like that is just bang, bang. Like he's unbelievable. I absolutely like that one. I will never
Yeah, that's a
ever
great
forget
one.
that
Yep,
one, man.
definitely.
There's like some Joe Rogan ones that I feel like should be up there, dude. Just they started putting the cameras on them just because of their expressions, man. Those are some of the best
Oh, yeah, the
reactions.
reactions are great. Yeah, you'll see some UFC ones on there, and yeah, like broadcaster John Anik, unreal. John Anik's the best in the business. You listen to a UFC broadcast, he's very very good at what he does.
Yeah, man. I mean, and just recency bias, the Charlotte Hornets announcers are some of the best out there. But I
Yeah, they've
mean,
been
dude,
great.
but you think about like big knockouts, dude. You think about big baseball games, like when Chris Sale struck out Manny Machado to win the World Series against the Dodgers, man. And
Yep,
there's
definitely.
there's just so many. Like we talked about some Ortiz home runs, like back in the day, man. I mean, so there are a million, and I mean the broadcasting moments could go on and on. Like I was telling you about the Iron Bowl, Alabama
Hmm.
Auburn, when the Auburn kick return to Chris Davis returned the field goal 100 yards, sprint up the left sideline, man. Like I remember, I can recite half of that broadcast. So it's cool, man. They change sports, man. Broadcasters are one of the reasons why you enjoy the sport so much. So
Hmm.
so
And
shout out all the
of
broadcasters.
course our Celtics broadcasters as well. We love them. So
We do. Tommy Heinz, one of the best. Actually, that just reminded me of one, dude. I was literally thinking about this beginning of the segment. I don't know why I didn't say it. Johnny Most. I was never even alive for him to be calling Celtics games, but he's like the old, like squeaky voice, like Celtics announcer from back in the day. Havlicek stole the ball. Bird stole, and it's just like he has like
yep.
one of the most iconic voices because it's one of the worst ever for broadcasting. But absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, man. All right, Pat. So our boy Ryan Morey from Westfield, he said thoughts on the play-in, but specifically, could this last past the season post-COVID? Could this last?
I think it definitely could. And maybe the Players Association will have something to say about it. I guess it depends. Like they'll have some arguments with just the NBA in general, but I don't know. I think it could. It like depends how it plays out. And like we said, I mean, we thought it was weird, but we were saying we're excited for the single game things leading up to the series. And then in other sports, there's wild card games, although this isn't formatted quite the same. They're almost like a wild card game. I think it definitely has potential to keep going for the seasons
Mm.
that come. It really just depends, I think.
Yeah, I don't like it in a nutshell. I think that if there is a play-in, I would, like I said last week, I would like an 8-9 wild card, one game,
Mm-hmm.
and whoever wins it. But I don't like already that over half the teams in the league make the playoff. I don't like that 20 out of 30 teams have a chance to win, right? Like I think it should be a bit more exclusive than that. I think that, that you need to make the regular season important.
Yeah,
When
and I
teams are
talked
allowed to
about
just coast, it's
last
bad.
week how like a lot of seasons the Eastern Conference, the team that's the 8 seed that makes the playoffs sometimes doesn't even have a 500 record. So
Right.
like you say, it probably needs to be a little more exclusive. I don't really know what to make of it, and we're gonna have to see how it plays out. It's very tentative.
All money at the end of the day. It's all it
Yeah, I
is.
mean they get more ad revenue, they get more everything.
All right, Pat. So Josh Delaney, shout out Josh. Saw him posting some great graduation pictures the other day. Do the Celtics need to rebuild again? And is it around Tatum? I feel like we need a minor rebuild. I think that we have a really solid core. I think there's like 5 guys that I wouldn't want to move, but I don't know if Fournier gets extended. And I think Kemba has another half a season to prove that he can be healthy and be this team's point guard. But that's when the rebuild comes. Jason Tatum's 23. Jalen Brown's 24. We got
Hmm.
time. They're locked up for 4 years each, respectively. But I think that third max contract spot that Kemba's taking up, I think that's where the rebuild and restructure needs to happen. And unfortunately, I don't think Kemba's that guy.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Like Tatum and Jalen are obviously the truth. I think they are
Yeah,
no question immovable. They have to stay.
I
And
agree.
then yeah, Kemba, like I thought Kemba was the answer. Like when we got him, I was so excited. But then you look at what like CP3 did for the Suns. I think we need a guy like that who can facilitate, score a little bit, but mostly facilitate. I Kemba's always been like a scoring point guard first, I think, especially like not just from UConn, but coming up through the Hornets where they relied on him for a lot of scoring. Like he was a scoring point guard. I think we need more of a facilitator, more of like a team player. And yeah, I would agree with you. We need like some sort of different point guard situation. But other than that, I mean, we have good pieces. I don't know what's going to happen with Fournier. Tatum and Jalen are the core. Yeah, I think we just need to. I think we need to find something for that last max contract spot. Maybe add another role player too. But
Yep.
I don't think we're far away. I don't think we're that far away. It's just because we have to play teams like the Nets with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. I mean, it's tough to compete with that as it is. But we're just gonna have to have time. Time's gonna have to play into our favor. We're gonna have to hopefully have these other teams kind of disassemble, like the Nets, the Lakers. Hopefully, LeBron like moves on. And once the league's wide open, like the Celtics could easily beat the team.
Yeah, and there's definitely an argument that the Celtics are trying to build it too organically. I know, like, you bring in other guys, and I know they've done a good job. Kyrie, Horford, Hayward. I get it, but you might need to go get that last piece, man. Like, there might not be time for Pritchard, Neesmith, Langford, and Rob Williams to develop into those key players.
Yeah,
Might need to force the hand a little bit, but I don't think that it's a total rebuild. I think that we have 5 or 6 immovable pieces on this team. I don't want to see Rob Will go. I love Pritchard. I love Neesmith, and I love Marcus Smart. So I think that there's people to stay on this team for sure.
yeah, the league has changed, right? Like it's about star chasing. I mean, you got to go out and get those guys who are ready to make an impact now, not so much about letting players develop, especially when we have Tatum and Jalen who are about to come into their primes. Like we need to match someone up with them who's going to be able to either facilitate or just gel well with the team.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Pat, that wraps up our listener questions, man. So we're going to move on to what we've learned. But y'all already know we got to get a quick little sponsorship from our lovely people at Book Thinkers, man. So if you read personal development books, please go and check out Book Thinkers, man. This company is dedicated to helping you fulfill more every single day through books. They post on IG every day. Every week they post a new podcast. And their whole goal is to help you find new books and new mentors that can help you achieve more and live better. So please go on over to their Instagram, Book Thinkers. Go to bookthinkers.com and find the book that's going to change your life, man. You can find their info anywhere. Just search Book Thinkers. It's going to come up, I promise you. Now, Pat, we're going to get on to what we've learned. So why don't you tell me what you learned this week, Pat?
Yeah, and with that news of mass opening back up, as I hope other states start to do the same thing. I know Connecticut's there, Mass is going to be there. You've got the states like Vegas, Florida, I think Texas. Yeah, I think states are starting to get there, but man, this summer I got to try to make it a summer of going to games because like especially Red Sox games, what I really want to do, I want to go to a lot of Red Sox games. And especially into the fall, I want to go to a playoff game for the first time in my life. I've always wanted to do that.
That'd
So
be
I hope the Red
sweet.
Sox are good enough. I hope we can last long enough into the playoffs for me to get there. So everything opening back up. Hopefully, if people want to, they're getting vaccinated. If not, they just feel comfortable making their own choice. And everyone gets out and has fun again and goes to some sporting events.
That's I love it, man. I love it. I hope so, dude. Playoff game sounds dope, but yeah, I've never
Yeah.
been to one either. Might have to set
October.
something up, Pat, because Red Sox best team in baseball, baby.
October
Let's
game
go.
that would hit different. I would love it. That's what I really want more than anything.
Yeah, dude, that would be nice. Perfect temp too for baseball. Absolutely. But
A little
Pat,
chilly.
yeah,
A
I
little
like the
chilly.
cold. I like the cold.
No, I know it's nice.
So Pat, man, what I learned this week, we need more goalie goals. We need more goalie headers, goals in any form we can get them. It might be the most electric play in soccer.
They're always
A goal-
awesome when you see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always are. Anytime a goalie does anything, like Manuel Neuer, just unbelievable.
Dude, like, so I'm watching the Liverpool game at work the other day, like very passively, and there's no customers in the store, and it's in the 95th minute of a 94-minute game, man. And we bring up Allison. We're tied 1-1 with West Brom. And I say to my coworkers, yo, Allison needs a bicycle kick to win. Just joking around. And Allison, not even getting a chance to set up, jogs up. And after standing there for half a second, puts in the header, wins the game, keeps Liverpool's Champions League hopes alive. Dude, there's nothing more electric.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Because
than a
it's just the
goalie goal.
last place you expect it to come from. And with Liverpool in that case, like it was so important too.
Yeah. And, you know, Allison's father passed away this year. He couldn't go home and see the funeral, so he was so emotional, dude. And I got to tell you too, all the tweets that were so funny. They tweet out the graphic goal Allison, and people are like, "Admin, how long have you had this graphic? Like, you've been waiting to use this graphic for a minute. You got an Allison
You
goal
never
scoring
have that.
graphic."
Yeah, what you got that ready to go? What?
Like,
Just in case.
They probably have like a Kevin De Bruyne makes the save, like as a goalkeeper, like
Just in case,
graphic
yeah.
just ready to go. But hey, man, we need more goalie action in soccer, because anytime a goalie does anything positive, electricity, man, electricity. All right, Pat, man, that wraps up the show. That's episode 21, man. We hope everyone enjoyed it. I got to tell you, when people are listening to this, I'm going to be flying to or being in Yosemite. So, Pat, I'm so looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what the pod looks like next week, man. Pat's going to be cooking something up.
Yeah, you'll have a
There's
good
gonna be
time. Yeah, and
something.
I'll see you guys next week, if not Chandler. So I'll see you guys next week. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll figure something out. We'll get an episode out. It'll be good. But yeah, Chandler, have fun in Yosemite. That's gonna be awesome.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll like leave you a voicemail. Like I'll do a listener question like on the show. You can
That would be
plug the
cool. I'll play it.
voicemail.
Yeah. We could figure that out. That would be cool. Get a
All
little
right,
segment
Pat.
from you. Maybe you'll read our trusty think book book thinkers ad.
Maybe, dude. Yeah.
We'll still
Hey,
get your voice in. Iconic.
we're brainstorming on the pod right here, man. This is what it's about. But
Yeah,
all right,
we'll
Pat,
only know when it comes out.
let's wrap this thing up, man. We appreciate all you wonderful listeners out there. Thank you so much for listening to this pod and devoting your time to us. You know, we do not take your time or your attention for granted. So thank you there. And hey, if anyone could share this podcast with one friend that doesn't listen to a sports podcast, we know it's not easy to crack a podcast rotation, Pat. You know, you were saying it a couple of weeks ago, you needed a new podcast, but it's not easy to crack that rotation. So
Gotta find the right one.
if you can work us into that rotation, we love you. We appreciate you. And thank you. And hope you enjoyed episode 21, man.
Yeah, have a good one, everyone. I'll see you next week.
You are listening to Right Off the Bus.